welcome to Butterflies of Wisdom, everyone. And yes, as of next week, I will be starting to use Butterflies of Wisdom as the subtitle of this podcast because I am now switching the format / the name to Aspenwin. And so starting next week, it will be called Aspenwin, aka Butterflies of Wisdom. So you guys get to know the podcast now as Aspenwin, and I'm slowly but surely transferring it over. And today, Mel and I are going to be doing a reflection on 2017, and then I'm just going to be doing the podcast. Not to say that I'm kicking Mel out the door, but I am kicking Mel out the door because I'm a journalist, so I need to learn how to do this stuff on my own, even though it's been a great fun. And Mel and I are still friends, so no hard feelings there. It's just I need to work more with the disabled population than I am now. So that's going to be my calling once I get my fashion journalism degree, which I'm going to be working on until spring of 2019. As you guys know, that ship is still sailing. And so as of today, I've been getting that all organized as of this recording, which today is Thursday. So I have been getting that all organized. And on a personal note, I am perfectly fine, but on Tuesday, typical me, I get myself into a car accident on Tuesday. And yeah, there's a story behind that one. Yeah. Person ran a stop sign and didn't know it was a four-way stop, and we just ran into this person. And so basically I'm fine. The cop on Tuesday goes, nice, she first of all said, what's your name? And I said, Lynn. And so that was good that I was actually functioning and sending text or the whole thing and functioning, even though my body was shaking. And she goes, nice to meet you. Well, by the time she said, nice to meet you, I know what she exactly wanted. And I'm like, honey, I'm not injured, and neither is my dad. So I'm not injured. So let's skip the $1,000 hospital bill. Thank you very much. And so on Wednesday, I rested. I made sure to drink a lot of water and tried to avoid the alcohol. But and today I'm feeling much better. I am wearing my back brace just to help my back because my back is internally bruised, and as it should be. I mean, as it should be. And people were saying, what about your back? And they're saying, well, if you're injured, you need to tell you that. And I'm like, there's nothing they can do about internally bruising. So, yeah, add in to the end of 2017 a car accident that I was lucky enough to walk away from. And so we're slowly but surely going into the awesomeness of 2018.
Well, Wynn, I am so glad that you're doing okay. I hope your dad's doing well, too. And, yes, this is Reflections of 2017. We are going to end the year off strong, and it's been an absolute pleasure working with you. And I absolutely applaud your decision and your move to be more specific with the CP market. And let's do this. So what are the standout things for you for 2017? What comes to mind first for you as far as events or goals or accomplishments or not?
Well, not. I would say let's start first. You guys have been so supportive of this podcast / my journalism degree that that astounded me that you guys have given me more credit in the world than now that I'm actually becoming an official journalist here. You guys have given me more credit, and that just astounded me that I didn't know that me walking into this with now the soon-to-be journalism accreditation behind me, I didn't know that you guys were going to love me even more because I didn't know. I told you guys this was a dream, and you guys have been so supportive of me, but we're going to be actually changing that method as of Aspenwin because I now want to get supported by you guys via PayPal. So you guys can email me PayPal donations. I don't care how much they are, but I would like to see that little investment back to me. This investment has cost me not only time, but time away from schoolwork and time away from family and time away from life. But this investment has also cost me money. I mean, it's about the same investment as a tennis racket. By the time you go buy the racket, by the time you go buy the shoes cost about $30, and that's what I am now paying for this podcast feed. So what I would like you guys to do in 2017 is not only listen to the podcast, but possibly support the podcast, because this podcast isn't going to last without you guys. I was listening to another podcast that's always been listener supported, and she was saying she couldn't do it without donations. I agree with her. And that podcast is Congressional Gifts. And way back in my archives, I interviewed Jennifer Biney of Congressional Gifts out of California, and all she does is talk about states and governments and all that podcast is. So if you want to go check that out, please do. If you want to go check out her podcast, please do. But we're going to start the listener-supported podcast, and I hate to get on this tirade, but if you guys don't start supporting the podcast, I will shut down the feed because I can't do it, and the feed maybe will get picked back up and reopen up after I get my journalism accreditation, but I can't, it's not about the money, it's about the time. I can't invest any more time in this podcast unless you guys help me pick up the slack.
Well, that's understandable, and there's a cost to business. You know, there's a price for success, and that's all right. And I believe that our viewers, your viewers and your fans are going to step up. No pressure, but just saying, you know, you've put out a quality product. You're very passionate about what you do. You're bright. You're intelligent. You're very giving. And I highly invite and encourage the viewership to support this podcast. I think you have a great message out there, and you know, you're going to do good things. So. But 2017
well, thank you, Mel, for getting behind me. But thank you, Mel. I certainly appreciate that. But at the same time, we're going to the listener supported podcast there because and I will give you my email address. 2 email addresses actually, aspenrosearts@gmail.com, SPENROSE arts@gmail.com is one PayPal email address you guys can donate to, and the other one is aspenwin@gmail.com, and this is what we're going to be doing starting next week because I can't do it anymore. I mean, I can't be doing all the stuff I want to be doing, and my books do make income, but I certainly this podcast made small income, not a large income, but a small income. So I truly appreciate you guys supporting this podcast, and if you don't like the listener supported method, you can close the door on this podcast. I don't care. You can close the door on this podcast. I don't care, but that's what we're going to do.
I don't think that you're going to have to resort to that. I think your viewers are going to step up. Like I said,
you would be surprised now. You would be surprised how many people don't like listener-supported podcasts. You would be heavily surprised.
I may or may not be, but it doesn't change the fact that I think there are equally people who do like it and people who feel that it's worth it. They'll invest in it. I mean, you're not asking for like $1 million.
Well,
you're just asking for support. And is there a specific value, a specific dollar value that would work for donation, or are you just kind of leaving it open ended?
I'm leaving it open ended like Jennifer Viney does. I mean, Jennifer goes from $1 to $50, and granted, I have not donated to her podcast, bad me. I will be donating in 2018 because I want the best political climate for all of us. I mean, 2017 in general sucked because we had the buffoon in, and I know this is supposed to be a reflection on 2017, but we had the buffoon placed in office who wants to make me poor and sick. Basically, poor and sick. He does not believe in the philosophy of sitting around pegged into a square hole. He doesn't believe in differences. So he wants to make the immigrants scatter, and he wants to make personal friends of mine go back, personal people in my life go back to Mexico and everything else. And so he wants to make me poor and sick, and 2017 putting him in office just made itchiness for 2017.
Well, Lynn, if there's one thing I know about life and in business, if you don't ask, you don't get. You don't specifically ask, you'll never get. So I'm going to encourage you and invite you and challenge you all at the same time. Give me a number. What is a number, a dollar value that you need for this podcast to operate on a monthly basis where you don't have to worry about it? Give me a number.
Well, I don't have to worry about it. Can that be any number? 1,000.
The actual number, 1,000. So for $1,000.
1,000. I just gave it to you. 1,000. 100.
$1,000 will keep.
Well, I don't have to worry about it. Well, I can pay my editors and pay all my pay you the final payment. Pay for my books. That $1,000 will be going towards my books.
Okay. So, on average, what is the average number of listeners listen to the podcast per week?
The average number is 100 and between 100 and 400, and on a good day, 500.
Oh, okay. Well, let's just say 200 then, right? So,
Yeah.
bear with me. So if 200 people pitched in $5 a piece, you'd have your 1,000. Okay. Let's say it's 100 people, right?
Yep.
If 100 people pitched in $10, you'd have your 1,000, right?
Yep.
Okay. And if let's say 50 people pitched in $20, you'd have your 1,000, right?
Yep.
And on average, you got 100 people. I mean, at the least, you're gonna have 100 people.
Yep.
At the most, maybe 400. So let's err on 1 out of 4, right? So that means if 100 people out of the average of 2 to 3 to 400, so to speak, right? So let's even take about 2. That's 250. You have an average of 200 to 250 people watching or listening to your podcast per week. If 100 of them did $10, that's $1,000. So, viewers, listeners, if you're out there, okay, if you could kindly donate $10 moving forward as of January 1st to the podcast and the PayPal account that Wynn has to keep her podcast going, she'll keep it going. It's $10.
That would be great. We appreciate it.
And in return, I could vouch for her for this, she is going to put out the best product and with the best intention and intensity and actions that she can, that is worthy of your $10 investment. And as a whole, if 100 of you did that, then she could stay on. So I invite all of you to do that. I encourage you all to do that. I think she's amazing, and I think she absolutely adds a lot of value. So there you go. And there's the invite.
There we go. And
$10.
$10. I mean, you can physically find
$10 a month.
$10 a year, and not only guys, you helping me, you're helping other disabled, so they don't have to Google or they don't have to go to those support groups. And I just said support groups. And for those of you who believe in support groups, that's fine. But for the disabled, it's kind of hard to get physically to support groups because, we rely on public transportation. We rely on the bus systems. So in order for me to help the disabled, I need the disabled/able-bodied to help me help the disabled.
Well, there you go. Help you, right? That's basically what we need to do.
Help me help the disabled here.
That's right.
So let's get back to reflections of 2017.
Okay. So what else stands out in your mind about 2017?
Well,
what decisions did you make? What decisions did you make in 2017 that impacted your life and others?
I am continuing with being a bionic woman, which that's a huge step right there. And I didn't tell you guys this, but the next fundraiser we have for the Living Bionics Foundation, which is also a one-woman show, quite frankly. And way back in the archives, you can listen to Amanda why she crowdfunded EXO for herself. And I had her on my podcast, and I wanted to thank her publicly for giving me the opportunity of an exoskeleton, which isn't cheap. And so at the next fundraiser we have, I am potentially going to demo the EXO.
That's amazing. We get to see you in action.
Yeah. Essentially, you essentially do, and I'm still, but I don't think it's going to work because I'm still looking for a exoskeleton that I can use possibly to walk across the graduation stage, but I don't think that's going to work. Traveling with EXO from Aspen, Colorado to California to its home state doesn't work. Amanda does it, and it requires her and a case. It requires a big film case, basically. And I don't know how she does it. And I'm certainly not doing it, and nor is my age. So we're still looking for exoskeleton to be used with a PT, but if that doesn't work, I am going to be using my walker at graduation, not my wheelchair. Thank you very much. And so you are going to get me standing tall now, basically, because you are coming to my graduation. I know that. So, and as I said, we're going to have a small book signing on the West Coast when I come out there to get my diploma. And so I'm slowly but surely working on my diploma, and it's beating me up. It's actually beating me up, but I'm learning a lot at the same time.
Well, challenges are healthy in life. You know, I mean, if it feels like it's beating you up right now, the end result is going to be magnificent. I mean, it's worthwhile. You wouldn't do it unless it was worthwhile. So it's but a brief moment in your life, right? It's a millisecond of your journey that doesn't have any destination. So, yeah. So, I mean, you know, is the degree there? Great. You know, all that stuff. But to have your friends and family celebrate that day with you, I would say it's just as important as you actually achieving it, right? I mean, all that positive love and energy is priceless. It's great to be celebrated by friends and family that care about you.
Yeah, but we'll see who truly wants to travel out with me. I know it's my aim myself, and we'll see what happens in 2019. I mean, we've still got 2018 to go, and we'll see what happens in both 2018 and 2019.
Well, you know, it's San Francisco, right? Who doesn't want to go to the city? You know, I mean,
but the complexity of going to a graduation for anyone is it's going to be an interesting process, and we'll see. I mean, we'll see. My dad, believe it or not, and I invited him personally to come and see me do the Kona Ironman. He didn't come. He watches on TV like everyone, he watches on the internet like everyone else did. So we'll see.
Well, you know, whoever wants to come will come. They'll make the effort because actions are everything. I wouldn't worry about the logistics or complexities. You know, that's all workable. Those are all solution-based conversations and actions. You know, but the people who want to show up, well, they'll show up, and those are the ones you celebrate with. It's all good.
We'll show up. We'll show up. No, my cousin is actually graduating at the end of this month, and she's not going to her own graduation ceremony. She's going to one in May. So from Columbia, Mount Alex. And so we'll see what happens with my graduation. But I'll keep you guys abreast on that, and I know I'm going to have to take personal time off of work, which is always a trick and a half, because when you have a day job, hopefully in 2019 I can transfer out of that day job in graceful style, But sticking with my degree program has been one of the biggest accomplishments of my life, and yeah.
Well, you have a lot more major accomplishments along the way in the future. And, once you get past your degree and all that stuff and you start writing and doing your passions, great things will be ahead, right? I mean, I've got two businesses I'm growing. One, both are international based, and been planting a lot of seeds this year. I made some critical and major decisions that shifted the direction of my personal universe, and I'm very happy with them. So, if you could change anything this year, now that, looking back on it and maybe some lessons that you learned, maybe you weren't aware or didn't see it at the time, is there anything you would have changed that would have happened?
I would have gone into my journalism program earlier than I did.
Okay. What was the caveat to that? Why didn't you go into it earlier? Scheduling? What was it?
The caveat to that is because I was stuck at the religious school that I thought was going to be the perfect fit for me. And those of you that know Concordia University, they have campuses all around the U.S. They have campuses in Irvine. They have campuses in Seattle. They have campuses in Seattle, Seattle, and then they have campuses in Washington State and Canada and all over the place. You guys know Concordia University, Irvine, just as well as you guys know the Academy of Arts. You guys know the Academy of Arts even more so. I mean, I've been talking to people in my inner circle. They're like, you are going to where? You are going to where? You are going to not only the most expensive school on the planet, but the number one for the degree programs. I mean, they only focus on the arts. The Academy of Arts only focuses on the arts, whereas the adult degree program at Concordia University had a small amount of degrees, plus they were very religious based. That I didn't mind, but the small amount of degrees, I minded. No. And I asked them, at point blank asked them, I said, do you have a writing program? Nope. They said, they beat around the bush and said, we may wait. And then, I asked them, and then they finally cracked and said no. And then at the time I was going through a back issue, which has nothing to do with the car accident. And so at the time I was so focused on my health, and at the time I was actually about to go through another transition of leaving preschool teaching. And so at the time I wasn't keeping the grades up. And then I got on academic probation, and they kicked me out. So yes. And so that was at the end of April. 4 days after that, I Googled journalism, the Academy of Arts, ad on Google popped up, which and then I didn't request information. I just went into the online program, and then I didn't tell anyone until, I kind of told my dad because we saw it in my bank statement. And so I didn't tell anyone officially that I was applying to school again until I got in, which was in June. I think it was June 19th, and I got the letter that I got accepted. So yes, early birthday present, early Christmas present, and I plan to get a degree.
Well, then everything worked out for the best, right? Because, you ended up having another choice come up, which was the Academy of Arts in San Francisco. And there's always, there's something to be said for attending a program that's more focused on where you want to go rather than a program that has just partially something that has to offer that's close to what you want to achieve.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So it's a good thing.
Exactly.
It's a good thing, Totally.
It's
totally cool.
It's a great thing. So. Now I've been asked, well, why didn't you go to a typical journalism school? And my answer is because I didn't want to, because my brain is one of those brains that gets extremely bored if I focus on writing too much. That's why one of the reasons I have a story in the works that I still need to get fully edited before it gets published. But I actually have 2 stories in the works that one is potentially being edited in January, and I'm going to try and submit that one in January to a traditional publisher, and so we'll see what the traditional publisher says about that one. But but all in all, I am slowly phasing myself out of teaching. I wish I could sit here and say I quit my job, but no, I will phase myself out of teaching in 2019 because right now there's so many changes personally and academically going on in my life that I need the consistency of having a day job, and then they need the consistency of having me. I mean, I'm the only one up there at Country Day on a walker who's teaching. So it's great, and I'm very happy to do it.
Well, like I said, you're either going to resonate with some and you're not going to resonate with others. So it's, you altered the course of your life. You made a big decision. That was major. I remember you going through that, and, you asked for feedback and support, and you got it, which is great, and now you can continue to the next level in 2018 and work as hard as you can and go from there, right?
Yeah, exactly. So what we want you guys to do is, one, have a happy new year wherever you guys are. I know a wonky podcast schedule, which is partially due to technology dying on me and partially me not having a computer, but my podcast is completely mobile. How I'm uploading it is via my iPad, because you can still access the podcast backend on an iPad. Thank God for that. And so I'm doing this completely mobile until June, and that's where the $1,000 is going to go towards my book or towards my new computer. I'm not, unless I have to be desperate, I'm not asking my family for a new computer. No way, no how. And so I am now buying this new computer myself, and that's why I would like $1,000 in my PayPal account so we can start somewhere.
Well, I think the viewers would be happy to support you with that. $10 a month times 100 people, $2.50 a week to hear your thoughts and insights and value that you add to the universe that you want to serve. Absolutely. I think people will gladly help.
I'm being optimistic.
I'm putting it out there for
you guys,
the universe to respond.
I'm being optimistic, but let's hope the universe responds. I mean, the universe responded with a journalism degree, so I don't know what 2018 is going to bring, but I'm hoping that I can say I am financially stable enough to quit my day job, and if the day job doesn't want me, I'll basically leave at this point, because the day job right now it's a day job and I love it, but it's getting more and more logistically difficult for me to go into the office. I mean, it's 2 layers. I have to walk up a ramp of death, and my colleagues know it. And this ramp, believe it or not, has been in my life for 30 years, yeah. Because we built that building in 1995. And so they put that ramp in for me because I was the only student with a physical disability going to country day at the time. Believe it or not, I started out my educational journey with the Americans with Disability Act in draft form in 1992. And so I have never had access to the American with Disabilities Act. The day I do, I'm going to be jumping for joy. And so I'm on the outsider looking in. And so more and more it's getting more logistically difficult as to where I was teaching, and now I'm teaching now, and my colleagues and my staff knows about it, and my boss knows about it. And so I hope when they do the remodel that they'll consider putting that ramp cold, because it's an old building and they didn't put it cold to begin with. I hope that they can do it, but I have talked to the architect who did our campus, and he promised me that he would do the best renovations he can, but that building is only getting renovated. It's not getting knocked down. It's not getting completely redone like the rest of my campus did. But anyway, that's my little spiel right there. That it's getting more and more logistically difficult for me to actually have a day job. So although I'm making it work, it's getting more and more logistically difficult. So that's why I'm going into journalism. But enough of my war with me, car accident, pity party. Nothing having to do with car accident. I'm just telling you guys the facts of life.
Well, there you go. Wisdom of, butterflies of wisdom with win, right?
Yeah.
Winning with win.
Yeah.
There you go.
No. And so, yeah, I'm just telling you guys the facts of life. And if you, Mel and I want you guys to have a happy New Year and safe New Year, and then we'll potentially, Mel, you will potentially guest host with me if I can figure it out, once in a while here on this podcast, and then you and I will still remain friends. Nothing against that. It's because I need to work with the disabled. I have decided to hone my niche and only work with the disabled, or do it myself towards the disabled. Probably do it myself towards the disabled, and so that's how it's going to be in 2018. And I hope you guys have a safe and happy New Year. And it's going to be an interesting 2018. Hopefully the political climate settles down, and hopefully, well, I shouldn't say my life is going to get better. Let's just put it that way. And I can't tell you guys yet what is happening, but my the podcast schedule is going to go wonky again. But let's just put it that way. Something huge is happening in my life that I just found out the other day that I've been waiting for. I've been waiting for 6 years to happen. Yeah. So basically my podcast is going to go wonky again, and that's why I need to prioritize my life.
That sounds amazing. And, I wish you all the best. And,
well, I do too now.
Happy and safe New Year celebrations, everybody. All right? Take it a moment at a time and enjoy every bit of it. That's all I say.
Yep. And I will catch you guys next week, and Mel maybe appearing, maybe guest hosting.
Sure.
At least so often if I really need that support. But Mel and I are still friends, so don't worry about that, you guys. I'm just going to do this on my own because I'm a journalist now. Why is a journalist leaning on the village when she's strong enough to do it on her own? I don't know. So I'm going to do it in 2018, and 2018 is the year of Aspenwin, and it's listeners supported model, and so you guys will probably hear this episode on tomorrow, and if I can get it out tonight, you guys would hear this episode. And so I wish you guys the happiest year, and let's make 2018 and 2019 strong, you guys. And I wish Mel the best of luck with his Fit Love Strong business, and maybe when it gets up and off the ground completely, he'll definitely be invited back on to talk about that completely and what he is doing in the online spaces for his wellness coaching.
Absolutely. Thank you, Wynn.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye, guys.